All right, Katie Wilson is back. Katie was one of our very first guests more than a year ago, and she talked about her viral billboard campaign that put her brand BelliWelli on the map. And since then, her brand has exploded, and it's all thanks to a very unusual TikTok strategy. We'll get into her approach from wacky sketches filmed in the aisles of Walmart to spiking the drinks of celebrities with her signature fiber powder. When we connected, Katie was just coming down from the high of her first major brand activation, a party in Venice Beach called Fiberfest. And since then, BelliWelli has made the Inc. 500 list of fastest growing companies, coming in at number 130 with 2,177% growth. Yes, that is a real number. Katie is a fearless innovator and one of the hardest working women I know. You're going to get so much out of this conversation. Katie, you're back. You're the first repeat guest we've had on My Best Campaign. And no surprise, because your episode is very popular and I think there's just so much to learn from what you've done. But so much has happened in the year or so since we've chatted, and I'm excited to hear about it all. You are fresh off of your very first ever Fiberfest, which looked like a hoot. This came together classic. It looked like it came together so fast. I mean, you texted me an invite a month ago.
No, it didn't. That's my fault. This was actually 6 months. So this is actually very unlike BelliWelli. This was not a fast throw together. This was a little unusual for us in that a lot of the marketing you've seen from us has been scrappy, move the needle fast, right? Thrown together, but somehow works. This was the opposite. So this was us saying, look, while of course it's always going to be hallmark BelliWelli to do these fun, scrappy, almost stunt-like marketing initiatives that really move the needle and end up usually being close to free. I think at the same time, we've entered a new era where it's equally important to go continue to build real brand. And so this was that, which was definitely unusual for us. So this was actually something that's been in the works for a long time. I actually had almost nothing to do with it, which sounds crazy. So
that is rare.
Yeah. So this was she's incredible. Her name is Sabina, and she's come on board to help us think through marketing and building a real brand. And this was her brainchild, and we were along for the ride, and she had some incredible partners in putting it together. So I think this was actually really unusual for me in more ways than one. I actually just got to show up and have a great time.
That's what it looked like. It looked like you were legit having fun.
It was so fun. I mean, there was like a moment where I looked around and there was like people dancing with fiber tubs, like cheering with fiber tubs. And we were listening to Dylan Francis, and I was like, okay, I don't know what KPI this is, but I don't know. It feels like we've hit our KPI if everyone's dancing with fiber tubs to Dylan Francis. Yeah. Like it feels like something in the universe has worked if we have somehow made fiber cool enough to rage with while listening to Dylan Francis in Venice.
I love that. So yeah, fill us in. It was kind of like a block party vibe in Venice. There were inflatable BelliWelli tubs. There was a DJ. What was the scene?
Yeah, it was BelliWelli everything. So I think the message you walked away with if you went to the event was fiber is the foundation of wellness. So we started with wellness, right? Which everyone has in common. And our take on wellness, right, is that fiber is foundational. You need fiber to achieve wellness. Other things too, but fiber is a key ingredient. Mm-hmm. And so there's lots of branded moments, but there was also lots of unbranded moments, which I think are key in building a brand that really feels authentic. It doesn't feel overly branded. I was so adamant that this wasn't going to be a boring, lame brand event where everyone like stood and like nodded their head for a little bit and took some photos and left. I wanted this to be like a rager, rage responsibly, but a rager fueled by fiber. So there was fiber, literally fiber cocktails. There was also fiber non-alc smoothies. I mean, the bathroom line was long. We don't know. Maybe it's because everyone was drinking fiber. But there was like cute little stickers all over the bathroom. I mean, obviously a huge iconic DJ played, And everyone was just, I mean, it was a vibe. It was super fun.
You got so much good content out of it. As you're describing what you wanted it to be like, I'm actually thinking back to an episode that we did with Ty Haney from Outdoor Voices last month. She was talking about just the right amount of friction. Like if the ask is just someone shows up, drinks a cocktail, takes a picture in front of a step and repeat, like there's no brand equity there. But asking someone to show up, have a dance party, and actually commit, that's like the perfect amount of friction. It stays with you.
Yes. I mean, I think too, having like a big name like that, of course, helps, right? And everyone's like, you almost got the invite and you're like, wait, what? And I liked that wait, what moment, right? Which is like, let's pair fiber with like a cool party on the beach in Venice, throw in a cool DJ, and you definitely get the like, wait, what is this? That makes for brand gold, in my opinion.
Yeah. And there's probably also, I mean, we're going to talk about this in depth, but you have a celebrity network like nobody else that I know at this stage of business. There was probably a little sense of like, who am I going to run into there?
For sure. I mean, I actually had that experience a couple times where I was like, whoa, how do we know this person? There was definitely some folks there that I was like fangirling over, and I honestly don't know how they came to be at the event, but it was super cool. And but by the same token, again, I know that's an important part of building brand, and it's such a thing in LA, but it's like also my personal pet peeve, right? Like I don't want it to be a like see or be seen. I want everyone there just having a great time. It's why we felt really adamant too that like half the party was made up of BelliWelli community members. I did not want this to be reserved for just those with a platform, right? Of course, an important ingredient in amplifying reach, but I don't know, the best events are full of people who are like super passionate and excited about the brand and like felt it really excited to get the invite.
Yeah. What do you think? I mean, it's fresh. It's only been a few days since it happened, but what do you think the impact has been or is going to be?
Yeah, to be honest, I think that's, this is where I'm trying to grow as a marketer. It's actually what I struggle with the most, right? Because it's not an ROI. I've learned about myself as we've gone along here that I am like highly motivated by, you know, high ROI campaigns, right? Like I like to do the thing I could wake up and do the next day and see impact. Mm-hmm. And I think that's super critical along the way, and especially critical in the like 0 to 10 era. And then there is this piece about building brand, right? That also becomes equally important, and it doesn't have flashy, like easy to measure ROI. I think hand wavy answer, but, we actually saw some interesting B2B benefits. So we've been interviewing for a couple of pretty senior roles, and a couple of our interviewees this week mentioned that they saw Fiberfest either in their own company Slacks, which was really interesting.
Yes.
Or on social. So I think again, it like legitimizes us as a fun and cool brand who's really owning the fiber narrative, which is important to me. I think if you were at the event, right, you have a really fun association with the brand, and hopefully you would have told 5 people about it. I actually had like the funniest experience this morning. I got in a minor car accident a year ago. So anyways, it's so minor. I was talking to an attorney this morning and trying to get some advice. And anyways, totally random. I just found him on Google, and at the end, I was like thanking him because he had given me some free legal advice, which is super nice. And at the end, I was like, let me send you some of my product. It's just a thank you. And I was like, it's called BelliWelli. And he's like, stop. I was just at a lunch with a friend who was talking about Fiberfest. And we were like, what? And it was this crazy coincidence. And I was like, oh my gosh, there we go. So anyways, I just think it's one of those, like, you hear through the grapevine, and, maybe we'll do another one. Maybe we won't, but we've never done anything like that before.
Yeah. On the topic of brand building, you as a founder have been so central to the BelliWelli brand. I mean, videos and TikTok, you're deeply involved in all of that. Does something like Fiberfest also give you the ability to start to remove yourself from the brand and build a brand that's independent of you?
No, I don't think we're there yet. I mean, I think, right, we're seeing also too, there's so many, I think that thinking is, valid, but we're seeing so many examples nowadays of brands who make it to the end who are still founder forward brands. And we still don't,
Skims,
we never, yeah, exactly. We never put our stake in the ground and said we aim to be a founder forward brand. And I think we still ask ourselves often if that's the right move. But, in our social presence, right? It's me who's probably willing to be out there and crazy enough to go approach people in Walmart. So some of this is like a by default thing. I don't know. I think we go back and forth, right? Do we want this to be a Katie brand? And there's probably times and places where it makes sense for it to be a Katie forward brand. And there's plenty of, there's plenty of scenarios where it doesn't. I mean, the truth is too, it's like, I end up being all over the social, but like the brand's been built by 3 people, me, Nick, my husband and co-founder, and Tyson, our other co-founder. So it's really the 3 of us behind the scenes. I think I'm just like, again, the one crazy enough to be all over social media all the time.
Yeah. And you're doing an incredible job. We're going to go deep into that. But first, there's been a major change at BelliWelli since we chatted last. You have made the switch from being a snack bar brand to really being a fiber powder brand. Can you tell me about what shaped that decision?
Yeah, I wish it was a juicier conversation, or like I wish there was a juicier answer, but it really was. It's really not, in that we launched the fiber powder, and the fiber powder was never intended to be a pivot product for us. It was a logical adjacency, right? We were gut health. We saw that fiber needed a revamp, needed a rebrand, and we thought we were well positioned to do that. And so we did, and to use a millennial term, it crushed overnight, right? It was 0 to 100, incredible, obvious, undeniable product market fit. And it's been more of the same ever since we launched it. And so, the most precious commodities in a small stage business, from my perspective, are time, effort, of course, money, right? And while not always obvious, right? When you spend time and effort on anything other than your big North Stars, things take a hit. And so even though it felt like the bars were in run state and they were a nice business, right? I mean, nice revenue came from the bar business. We knew that by shifting any time and effort that we were spending on bars over to powders, the business was going to be better off. And so it was honestly an easy decision. Like when we looked at the side by side, even though the bars will always be near and dear to my heart, it was clear this is the direction that we needed to go and wanted to spend our time and effort building.
Now, are you keeping a little side stash of bars for yourself?
No. I was recently at my grandma's house, and I love her. She and my grandpa, don't get rid of anything. I admire that. They had bars from, I think, 4 years ago in their freezer. And I was like, okay, if I don't keep the bars, I'll know that grandma and grandpa have got bars for years in their freezer. Don't think I'd eat them, to be really clear, but I was like, okay, someone's saving a stash. I guess that's good.
The BelliWelli time capsule in your grandma's freezer.
Literally. Yeah. She had every iteration in the freezer. It was so cute. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay. You are in, and you have been in, such a period of massive growth. And you and I aren't talking numbers on a regular basis. I'm just basing this purely on tracking the growth in your following. It's wild. As an investor, I check things out pretty regularly. Every week, you're gaining at least a couple thousand followers on Instagram. Sometimes TikTok I'll check out. But, as of July 30th, you were at 237,000 followers on Instagram. Today, you're at 240. You were at 257,000 followers on TikTok. Today, you're at 774,000. The growth is phenomenal. And I know that you spend a ton of time on this. I don't think people would believe how much time you as a founder actually spend on this.
I think that's
Talk to me about what's happening on TikTok, and talk to me about how you are managing to do this.
Gosh, the second piece is harder, because I don't know if I am managing to, I don't know if I'm successfully managing this, but, so TikTok and social has changed our business.
Yeah.
And we're unique in that I think there's some incredible businesses built on TikTok Shop. We didn't aspire to be one of them. We really value the revenue we see at our retail partners like Walmart and Target.
Yeah.
And so for us, we kind of struck gold in that we stumbled into a social strategy that allows us to grow on social, but actually drives traffic to Walmart and Target. And that's beautiful for us. And so, I mean, trial and error would be an understatement. I think if I look back and think about how I actually kind of got to this point, it'd be easy to kind of wave it off and say like, oh, I just figured it out over time. But truthfully, it was, it's not an exaggeration when I say, I think this year I've spent 352 days in a Walmart for 4+ hours each time. And so it was literally studying every piece of content, figuring out the exact moment people drop or stay, why they drop and stay, studying, repeat, rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat. So it took so long to get to this point. And then of course, right, to stay agile and social, you've got to be willing to adapt weekly. So I do think this particular marketing channel is a good fit for my personality because I'm a dog with a bone. So if I see evidence of something working, I will throw myself at the thing until there is nothing else to get out of it. So again, it's like this, it's a great / terrible fit for someone like me because I will go after it and go after it and go after it. And you see immediate ROI. I mean, that's what's so incredible about finding success on social, and anyone else who's done that, will relate. But I mean, you see it in your sales the next day, which is so exciting for a marketer, right? You're like, oh my gosh, what? So the cause and effect is so clear. I think in terms of time management, the only reason it works is because I have a team and 2 other co-founders who are able to fill in where I'm not. Because the thing I don't think that gets talked about is if there's a creator, whether it be a brand or a creator brand, that filming content is so time consuming, right? I have the ultimate respect for any creators now because I know it's not easy. It's so time consuming, right? You're like, creative juices have to be flowing constantly. That there's no way I'd be able to be attending to all the other pieces of the business without co-founders.
No, I'm amazed you're here right now.
No, I mean, of course, this is the fun part, but I think it's only possible because I have co-founders who are willing to fill in elsewhere where I'm dropping.
Yeah. Okay, let's talk about your content. When you first started blowing up on TikTok, you were doing kind of these like almost man on the street types of interviews, but you're like interrupting people in the aisles of Target or Walmart, kind of talking to them about their fiber choices, encouraging them to get BelliWelli, or maybe they already were. And then like, surprise, you're going to buy it from them. How did that start as a format?
It started for real. I mean, I was actually doing that with customers in the aisle. And then I asked Walmart if I could set up a chair in the aisle and do it over and over and over and over again. Obviously, that's not sustainable, right? You can't actually film real people constantly in Walmart. So then it evolved, and then it was actually real shoppers, but planned ahead of time. And then it has continued to evolve. And I mean, again, what's evolved to now is like fun skits, which is meeting the algorithm where it's at, right? So for example, the original format doesn't work anymore, right? That format wouldn't land. So you have to just evolve with the algorithm. And that's taken lots of different forms. I can't even imagine what that's going to look like 6 months from now, but it's willing to be agile. I think that's what's so tough about being a creator is like, oh my gosh, you have to just like be willing to rethink your whole strategy. And, you kind of get anchored and tied to what you were doing, and then it stops working, and then you're frustrated. But instead of getting frustrated now, it's just like, okay, let's pivot. Let's figure out what works now.
Yeah. It's been fun to watch that evolution. Like it sort of devolved or evolved into these really silly sketches, but people eat them up. Like they love them. People, you're filming shots of people stealing BelliWelli from someone else's cart, taking an entire aisle display with them. And it's so over the top. Like most people understand it's playful and it's in jest. You read the comments. Some people have no idea, which is also delightful.
Totally. I mean, it says in our bio, fun, playful skits, but it's like, I think that's part of the fun, right? Is like now to cut through noise. If you look at any memorable brand moment in the last 12 to 24 months, for the most part, I don't think it always has to be like salacious or scandalous, but you have to find a way to cut through noise, and that can take a bunch of different forms. But, like run of the mill I don't know, quality pieces of ad content just don't land anymore.
Yeah, like the old product endorsement, doesn't really work anymore.
No, it's got to be noisy. It's got to be loud. It's got to be cut through. And like it or hate it, I think that's where we've landed.
Yeah. And it really has worked. It gets views for sure. And then that gave way to this new tactic, which maybe isn't even that new anymore. Kind of this surprise approach, which has earned its own name. It's called belly bombing. Explain what that is.
I mean, Amanda, you know me, so most people who know me are like, okay, this would be like the next iteration of what you're doing, I guess. Because it kind of combines multiple worlds, right? So, you know this, but before BelliWelli, I was a matchmaker in the entertainment space. And so, fortunately, have some fun connects there. So anyways, it was kind of pairing that old world with this like crazy zany concept that's like kind of me on some level. I mean, I've settled some marital disputes because I've had a bunch of girlfriends who've reached out and been like, Katie, I'm arguing with my husband right now. I think that's real. Like, I think you're actually doing that. He says they're not. And I'm like, oh my gosh, the fact that many of my good friends think that I would actually do that means, I don't know. And so I think there is like this part that's like kind of authentically me. Obviously, spoiler alert for anyone listening, those are pre-planned, right? I don't just bump into celebrity after celebrity living in Los Angeles every day.
We like this fantasy of LA that you just run into famous people every time you walk into a Target.
100%. But no. But it's fun because, I mean, like I said, it's me. It's a fun way to weave in celebs and influencers without, your standard like celeb influencer post, which just doesn't do it for me as a consumer. I don't think it's doing it for most. Again, let's be noisy and fun, and we're selling fun fiber. This doesn't have to be so serious.
Absolutely. So you're walking up to these celebrities who just conveniently are carrying a coffee, a smoothie with no lid on it, which of course is the implausible part of it, but that's the delight in reading the comments, is that people aren't putting this together. And then you're dumping BelliWelli fiber in their cup and kind of capturing these over-the-top reactions. Why do you think it works so well?
I think it checks a lot of boxes. I think there's some shock appeal. I think you've got a familiar face in the video, right, that people recognize. I think there's so much authenticity in the videos because those videos beyond just like, okay, let's do this. Those are completely authentic. The reaction, there's no coaching, there's no script, there's no brief, there's no nothing. So you're getting enough authenticity for it to land. And I think, there's always some which again, authentic, always some recognition of the product and what the product does. So it checks a lot of boxes. It's just a funny way of going about it.
And there's some warmth. Like, you always win the celebrity over in the end.
Yeah.
To fiber. And it's you coming through. Like,
exactly. Yeah.
It's a testament to how you move through the world. And honestly, like, knowing your approach, which is, as far as I understand, you're not one to like pay people a bunch of money to appear in things. These are favors that people are doing for you. And it says something about how you move through the world. Yeah.
I mean, look, I think fortunate enough to have some awesome connections. I think I really believe in some of the best marketing is not the marketing that costs $100,000. Sometimes it is, right? There's been plenty of examples of incredible marketing moments that were really expensive, but most, at least in BelliWelli's history, have not been. They've been rooted in authenticity and maybe a small price tag attached, but it's kind of my mantra. And sometimes I think that hurts us. Sometimes I think that really helps us. It's just like, you should be able to do a lot with little. And if you can't, then you don't have the right idea.
I absolutely love that. And I think I can see time and time again, we talked about your billboard campaign, but doing a lot with little has been a theme. Can you think of any other examples of ways that has really worked for BelliWelli over the years?
Those are the two big buckets. I mean, if you go back to the beginning, it's not a marketing campaign, but I was crazy about responding to customer emails. I did that for so long. I mean, I was averaging 390 emails a day, and I didn't give that up I did that for 3.5 years. And so I think that's really why we had our pulse on what was working and what wasn't. So I think the two big campaign moments, right, that I can point to are definitely the billboard and the social strategy. There will probably be another one here the next, 12 to 24 months. But I do think we're scrappy, right? But again, we never put a flag in the ground and said like, we're going to be a scrappy business who does a lot with little. It's just how we behaved. And I think it's almost become a hallmark for us. And I don't want to stray from that because I think it challenges us to come up with really impactful out of the box ideas. I never get excited by marketing trends. I'm always convinced like I've got to find the thing that's weird and out of the box and I could do tomorrow. That's usually my filter.
Yeah. You mentioned Fiber Fest was the brainchild of someone else that you brought on, but I know so much of this comes from you. When do these ideas come to you? Like, where do you get these flashes of inspiration?
Gosh, I don't know. I mean, like on a walk, this is such a boring answer. I think actually on airplanes. I love on airplanes, like I actually don't get out the laptop. I will like really riff on a notepad with fun, crazy ideas. I do that a lot, actually. Mm-hmm. And for me, it's always like, let's start somewhere where nobody is. That's like where billboards, I drove through LA and couldn't find a branded billboard. I found only watch billboards and I was like, okay, nobody's here. Let's go here. So anyways, I don't know what my next one is, but that's on the table next.
Yeah. You mentioned you see the ROI on TikTok right away. You talked about TikTok Shop. Is that where most of your direct to consumer purchases are coming from these days?
No. So most of the revenue we drive on TikTok and Instagram shows up at retail.
Okay.
Which is what we want.
Yeah.
So you'll notice, don't drive people to buy and a link in our video like a lot of brands. We love the idea that people are finding us in store. We think that's the secret sauce.
And talk to me about that relationship. What do you see when a post goes off? Like when you get 13 million views on a video with Jojo Siwa, what does that look like in sales? You don't have to give numbers, but like, does that relate?
So we've driven 1 billion views for Walmart specifically this year. And we are the #1 growth driver in Walmart in our set this year. So if that's like, hopefully answers your question. I mean, it's parallel, right? It's synonymous. So it's, we drive views, we sell out, we drive views, we sell out. And as a result, like I think we've really hit home for our consumer that the destination is Walmart and Target. It's, we're within 10 minutes of every American. So, we're just at this point where we can do this like really fun upper funnel brand marketing, and it works because you see 8 of our videos and you're going to grab it next time you're at Walmart or Target.
You are. I do it all the time. I bring it for the team. I stop in at Target when I'm driving north on I-5. It's like part of my ritual when I come home from Portland now.
Love that so much.
It's just a habit.
The shelf looks great.
Let's talk about what I think is one of your most interesting tactics to date, because we've never seen anyone do it. I think it requires a certain level of planning. It's a very risky and bold strategy that I think has worked. Tell me about the mystery flavor competition.
Yeah. I mean, we're actually learning in real time because it's not gone yet. So we, again, given kind of how playful and you could almost argue like stuntish our marketing has been, we thought we were a brand that kind of deserved to play in this space and launch a gamified flavor, if you will. And so this was exactly that, right? This was a way to engage our community and tie social and retail together with a nice bow. I think there's definitely been some learnings along the way. We've had a ton of brand awareness, which has lifted brand sales everywhere, which is really exciting. I do think that a $20 essentially lottery ticket, right? So $20 is I think on the higher end. I think fortunately, because we really invested in getting the message out, we'll sell out and all of that. It will be a success in that way. I think if I could do it again, I'm not sure that a mystery flavor, at a $20 price point is the perfect execution. I might structure that a little bit differently, but the community's loved it. We've seen so many fun videos. I mean, the guesses are so funny. I look at the guest database every single day and I love looking at it. It's so fun to see what people guess. It's a serious prize, right? It's $50,000.
Yeah.
And so I'm like a kid waiting for Christmas, and that I can't wait to tell someone that they won $50,000. Like, I can't even, that's going to be the most fun day ever. And so, yeah, no, I mean, it's been so fun. I think we will do more campaigns like this. I think probably you live and you learn and you make tweaks along the way, but we're a brand that I think is playful and deserves to play in the space.
Absolutely. Yeah. So the gist of it is you created this flavor completely different from all the other ones. You literally put the label on it that says ? Mystery flavor, encourage people to buy it, submit their guesses through social, if I'm not mistaken. Like, you have to publicly do it.
No. So a couple pieces that are missing. We did do this exclusively with Walmart. So this would not have been possible without Walmart. They said, we'll carry this in all of our stores, which is pretty crazy. And so they leaned in with us, and, you don't actually have to purchase it. Obviously, you probably want to purchase it because you want to try it, but technically there's no requirement. So you go to the landing page, which it's on a QR on our tub. And that landing page takes you to the spot where you'll submit your guess. You can earn bonus entries if you make a video of yourself guessing it, but not a requirement. And yeah, someone's actually going to win.
So how many tubs of this did you make? Because that's the big decision, right? How much inventory do you create?
I don't have an exact number on the top of my head, but we obviously had to supply Walmart nationwide, and we will sell out. So we probably timed it, or like we probably got it just about right. We've actually already sold out online. So we knew we were going to sell out, which is part of the fun. And the mystery flavor. So the other piece that I think we missed in the story is we actually always keep 4 to 5 flavors in the hopper, right? For products that we want to launch. And so at any given time, we're working on those flavors. And this was the best flavor we had from our perspective. So we were going to launch this flavor no matter what. And we were obsessed. So we thought this was by far the best flavor we've ever made. And so we love the idea of making that the mystery flavor. And the feedback on the flavor has been so crazy that we may or may not be launching the flavor for real, with retail partner. But TBD on that. But it is it's not a line. It's the best flavor we've ever made, in my opinion, by a long shot.
And when are we going to find out what it is?
So early September. So it closes August 31st. We will pick a day in early September where we've got to do like the giant check. Like we've
Absolutely.
Yeah. I'm going to fly out to whoever this is. I can't wait.
Amazing. Okay. You've been in this sort of wacky zone of creating these skits and content. Like, you've become a content creator yourself, essentially. It's been, over a year that you've been doing this. Can you sustain it? Like, what do you think is coming next?
Yeah, always I can sustain. I mean, to me, like that's always the yes. But I think, you get like, you like look for the next thing, right? I mean, I think, I'm maybe a little bored. So now is my moment to go find something new, and I will. What that is, we don't know. We have a couple of really fun ideas, but, yeah, I mean, things get stale. So you've got to shake it up. It's so obvious, but it's true. And even if not for that, I mean, my personality is like, I get bored. So I'm like, I've got to go shake it up. I am constantly chasing the next milestone. And so, to get there, we've got to go do something new and different.
Yeah. I know you never want to do what anyone else is doing, but I also know you have to pay attention to what's happening in the market. What are you seeing out there that's inspiring you right now? What gets you excited and jazzed as you look at what folks are doing in marketing and brand?
Yeah, I mean, controversial answer, I think probably, but I like non-boring things. So I really love what David did recently with their COD move. Again, I know it was a controversial campaign, but that's right up my alley. Mm-hmm. It made noise, relatively speaking. I mean, well, I shouldn't say that was cheap, but that was just that strengthened their brand perspective even more, in my opinion. I like loud and noisy things that cut through noise. So that inspired me. It actually was like, oh my gosh, we've got to do something similar. Like I'm obsessed with what they just did. I get less excited about beautiful Instagram feeds or like beautiful rebrands. I think those are all important, of course, but it's not what's going to do it.
It's just table stakes. It's not pushing the millions of views.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Virality is a really fun KPI because it's not always the right KPI, but it's, again, sticky, easy to measure, and virality leads to sales. I mean, people may hate to hear it, but it's true.
Yeah. Okay, last question for you. When you think about what's coming up in the year ahead for BelliWelli, of the things you can talk about, what are you most jazzed about?
New product. Yeah, we have a new product coming out. So,
a new non-fat, non-powder product?
Correct. Yep.
Amazing.
Yeah, so I can't share what it is, but it's real and it's happening in October. And it's the perfect brand adjacency for us. And it's fiber-based, of course. So we are a fiber brand through and through. And I've been obsessed with it.
Well, we can't wait.
I've been eating it every single day.
Love the sounds of this.
Yes.
Great. Katie, thank you so much. Love catching up with you.
Thank you. Right back at you, Amanda. It's such a pleasure. Thank you.